Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for your interest in STEP and also being part of the STEP live session. So in the next hour, I'm gonna, so my name is Jian Xi, I'm the director of SUTD Technology Entrepreneurship Program STEP. So I'm gonna converse with our STEP alumni, Pak Yunlin, together, and to share with you the STEP program. Yunlin, you wanna say hi?
Yes, hello everyone.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a very quick introduction about the STEP program before we invite Yunlin to share with you her STEP experience and what she has been doing for entrepreneurship after graduation. Then we'll take questions from you. So the STEP program was created to educate the future engineers who are also entrepreneurs in one. People like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, or Morris Chang, and Pony Ma in the Asian context. And those people are engineers by nature, but they're also entrepreneurs. And their roles as engineers and entrepreneurs are actually non-separable. We want to educate people like them who are social tactical, who can understand and also design deep tech, and who are international citizens who can cross cultures to make global impact. And to do so, we have innovated a very holistic curriculum, a bachelor's and master's integrated curriculum to offer entrepreneurship learning with global perspectives and also deep technologies. And STEP curriculum is actually built upon SUTD's multidisciplinary design-centric undergraduate curriculum. And students will be one of the signature design pillars of SUTD and to study for their bachelor's degree. At the same time, in a journey, they will also spend a year overseas in the US and China to learn about entrepreneurship by taking courses, also being part of immersion learning experiences in the US and China, US for 8 months and China for 4 months. And they will also have a master's thesis research experience working with SUTD's tenure track faculty members to work on deep tech in her or his chosen domain of technology and innovation. So when the students graduate, they're gonna get a bachelor's degree from one of the design pillars together with a master's degree in technology entrepreneurship. I'm gonna quickly walk you through the learning journey of a typical STEP student. So in the first few terms, even before going overseas to US and China, the students will, from term 1, they will learn about entrepreneurship. And STEP students will join the SUTD Entrepreneurship Center Startup Science Program to learn about the entrepreneurship process from ideation to prototyping and venture building. They will receive a lot of mentorship, funding support, and they can spend time in the incubation space in SUTD Entrepreneurship Center. At the same time, for whatever great ideas that you have, they want to kickstart, you can also tap on the STEP programs, prototyping grant to support them. So during the term breaks throughout the journey, actually a lot of STEP students hop onto the planes to many countries. For the short-term immersion programs that SUTD has created for STEP students and also SUTD students. From what I know as a director of STEP, I've learned quite a number of students, STEP students, have actually been to 5-6 countries through such short-term overseas immersion programs for entrepreneurship learning, even before going on their 1-year overseas or formal study in UCB and China for STEP. And in term 5, and they're gonna take the entrepreneurship course module that I created and run at SUTD. The course is theoretically grounded, but also highly experiential learning focused. And students will build teams, generate ideas, work in teams to prototype their minimum viable products and push it to the markets and users, generate evidence for demands, traction, and pitch to the investors in the end of the semester. So the whole learning journey is very much like Y Combinator's acceleration program, but at the same time, it has more theoretical guidance. And from the slide, you can see a wide variety of learning activities of the student in the entrepreneurship module at SUTD. If you compare the entrepreneurship module here, it's more technical than most of the entrepreneurship courses you can find from the business schools. It's more innovative and multidisciplinary compared to some of the engineering design modules you can find from other universities. Here's just a collection of some typical projects from the projects in the entrepreneurship module at SUTD. You can see a variety of technologies, hardware, software, IoT, robotics, AI, just any interesting and novel technologies that you can think of. And we're very impressed by the creativity and innovation capability of our students. Not surprised because we're actually at a design-centric university to learn about entrepreneurship. And one thing I want to emphasize is that the entrepreneurship module is supported by a very large network of practitioners, including venture capitalists, entrepreneurs, and also industrial experts. They come to our classes, they mingle and work with our students for their projects or speak to them. Not just, they're not here to help us, they're actually attracted to come to our entrepreneurship classes because our students are innovative, they're doing very, very interesting projects. So those people, the seasoned, successful entrepreneurs of VCs, you just want to be part of the community in turn that has offered enormous learning opportunities for our students in the community. And for some of the hardware projects, we actually organize short-term immersion trips to Shenzhen during the recession week in order for them to connect with the manufacturers, prototyping, and product realization companies, because some of the projects have the potential to go viral and go into mass manufacturing. Then the connection and to the Shenzhen manufacturing ecosystem and knowledge about manufacturing will be fundamentally important, and we do that as part of the entrepreneurship module. Such a holistic design of the pedagogy actually allows students to develop empathy toward a wide variety of stakeholders in the value chain of their innovation, not just about learning or empathy toward the users, but also suppliers, development partners, investors, government agencies, media, and your co-founders. And such learning is holistic and social technical. After that preparation of basic entrepreneurship process knowledge, the students will move to Silicon Valley and be based at UC Berkeley for 8 months. In the first 4 months, they will take entrepreneurship-related courses, more on the business and social side. The courses include entrepreneurial leadership, marketing, finance, and the negotiation. And those are soft skills and knowledge that entrepreneurs are normally very good at on top of their engineering knowledge. And especially, and they will also receive a mentorship, be part of a mentorship program, be matched with local entrepreneurs and industrial experts to provide personalized hands-on mentorship. And the student will also take one project-based module with an intensive immersion with the local entrepreneurship ecosystem to be embedded in the ecosystem for immersive learning. And after the semester, students will do one internship in the Bay Area. The internships will be sourced by our partner UCB with a large network of a company in the Bay Area offering internship opportunity to our students. Students can make, if their resources full, they can also find their own internships and opportunities. And students, our students are not worried about finding internship over there. The opportunities are oversupplied actually. And after the US experience, STEP students will move to China, been based in one of the partner universities of STEP, including Tsinghua University, Zhejiang University, and Xi'an Jiaotong University, depending on the interest of the students. And after that, they will come back to finish their entrepreneurship capstone as part of their undergrad curriculum. And also, the capstone is supported by a lot of mentorship and funding, and also our ecosystem. And many of the capstone projects actually spin off to become real-world startups. At the same time, the students will work on their master's thesis, dedicated 2 semesters to master's thesis research under the supervision of tenure-track faculty in any pinner or cluster or any research center at SUTD, really depending on the interest of the students. So this experience will will push STEP students to the frontier of technology and innovation in the domain of his or her interest, and also allow them to discover deep tech entrepreneurial opportunities, which will make the startups or the entrepreneurship entrepreneurship pursuits of our students standing out from the surface tech startups on the mainstream in the large ecosystem. We consider the thesis part very important because it offers the deep tech entrepreneurship opportunity for our students. And STEP students currently enrolled are very, very innovative and creative and entrepreneurial, very passionate, energetic. And they don't just rely on the curriculum that the university provided to them. They also take their own initiatives and to innovate and to design and try to be impactful. STEP students, from what I know, the current enrolled ones, 1/3 of them have already created their own companies, and many of them have been winning awards from local and international design innovation competitions. We're very impressed by the quality of the current STEP students in the program. I can see that they're the best of the generation. So the holistic and comprehensive design of the curriculum had been created to educate social technical engineers who are entrepreneurs and understand deep tech, their international, their cultural, and their people. They're going to be like Elon Musk. So I want to finish my sharing by sharing with you a short interview of Elon Musk where he explained how he defines himself and what he has been doing for his life.
I've heard people say, listen, he's an out-of-the-box thinker, he's a businessman, he's an entrepreneur, but people that know
really
you
a
say...
businessman, I wouldn't say.
You would say?
I'm not really a businessman.
You're not a businessman? No?
No.
What are you?
I'm sure there's probably lots of analysts on Wall Street who would agree that I'm not a businessman.
Okay, well what do you think you are?
I'm an engineer.
An engineer?
Yeah, I like engineering and design.
But you're not a businessman?
Well, I don't sort of like look at things from like what's the rank ordered list of priorities for based on a return on investment or something like that. I don't really do any investments. I only own one public security, and that's Tesla. That's it. I have no diversity in terms of public securities.
I've heard you describe yourself as a technologist.
Yes, exactly. Technologist. Make new technologies. Create new technologies.
No. Is it your dream to conquer the world and make the world a better place? What is your dream?
Technology is like magic, you know. I think like technology is the closest thing to magic that we have in the real world, and so I think like engineering, creative engineering is essentially technology development. I guess maybe when I was a kid, like Lord of the Rings is my favorite book.
Is it?
Yeah, and I thought it'd be like, what's the closest thing to being a wizard in the real world? And that's like creating new technologies.
So personally, I really like how Elon defines himself. He doesn't like to be considered a businessman, and he considers himself an engineer. What he does is engineering design, that's what he said, and he considers himself a technologist. And that's how he defines himself. That's also how we define our STEP students, and who can design technologies to pursue entrepreneurial impact, like Elon Musk, and maybe better, because our students are the future. If you share those values with STEP students, with the top technical entrepreneurs in the world, if you're creative, innovative, ambitious, if you want to make an impact through technology, design, and entrepreneurship for your life, welcome to join us. Okay, for the next, I'm gonna pass the mic to Yunlin to share with you her STEP journey and her entrepreneurship experience. Yunlin, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Jian-Xi. So maybe I can share a few anecdotes and examples of, how my experience was at the different segments of what Prof. Jian-Xi shared just now. So, in fact, the very first impressive part, or at least the part that I learned the most about entrepreneurship, is in fact from Prof. Jian-Xi's class. So that was actually a class called Entrepreneurship, and we actually ran a Kickstarter, comprising a team of like 5 or 6 students, having actual roles in our team, and operating like a real company, because we start from innovating the product to sourcing for manufacturers and even having to do the marketing and the videos. So this really gave me a first taste of what entrepreneurship is, and I was leading my team. And it was a very, we got to go to Shenzhen also to look for like potential manufacturers. So that was also very fun. And it was really a first taste towards what it means to be an entrepreneur and how is it like to manage a team, or at least like your mini company, right? So that was before I flew to US and China. So the next year, we actually got to go to US and China. In United States, we studied at UC Berkeley. And what really compelled me to go for the program is the fact that UC Berkeley is actually situated in the Silicon Valley, the San Francisco Bay Area. And it has always been known for having a very strong startup ecosystem, and also having great networking events, great workshops for us to meet new people or even upskill ourselves. So that really compelled me to go there. And besides that, I knew that was crucial in the entrepreneurship journey. And for someone that likes creating new things, innovation, and doing things that have not always been done before, entrepreneurship is very attractive to me. So I knew that would be a crucial step in my entrepreneurship journey. And besides that, the UC Berkeley courses were also very helpful towards learning more about entrepreneurship. So just now Prof. Tian-Si showed a slide on what the courses that we get to study in UC Berkeley. Just to share from my experience, the most helpful class was actually negotiation, in fact. Yeah, and the interesting thing is, I felt that I was lucky to be paired up with like a classmate who was known to be like the toughest negotiator in the room, and that really helped me to grow in the entrepreneurship world. So then that also kind of like makes you take the first step towards crafting a business plan. And I think, as with anything, right, as with sports, as with arts, as with even like music, we need to train ourselves to get better at something. So essentially what it means is the earlier we start at honing a craft, the better we will get at it, compared to other people who like start later. So I think it's important, if you think that, okay, somewhere in your future you want to do entrepreneurship, want to start your own business, it's actually important to start early. So being able to take the first step towards crafting your own business plans or running your own business, it will actually help you to get somewhere far sooner than other people. And in fact, even if we talk about like Mark Zuckerberg, right? Facebook isn't his first product. Facebook isn't his first business. He started creating his own technological products ever since he was like 12, and he iterated along the way until he created Facebook when he was in college. So so that was how I felt that the experience in UC Berkeley and Silicon Valley was very helpful. And then after the first 4 months studying UC Berkeley, we are still in that area, so we spent the 5th to 8th month over there, that is summer, and we get to do an internship over there. So the interesting thing is, I was very proactive, in going for networking events and things like that. So so to share about myself, I have incorporated a company. The name of my company is SGP Foods, and we are a resource efficiency technology company. So how it links to what I'm saying is that I actually met my co-founder, Jonah, in the United States of America, in the Silicon Valley, during one of these networking events. And so the thing is, always keep an open mind when you want to take up opportunities and listen to what people say. My co-founder and I, we met during the event, and we have been bouncing ideas. We've been working on our business plans ever since then. So it has been 3 years. And finally, we incorporated the company last year in Singapore. So it could be a place whereby you also get to find your potential co-founder, right? Not just within your class, not just within fellow countrymen. You can also find your co-founders from other countries, right? And nowadays the world is very interconnected with technology and globalization. So it's important to set your sights far and set your sights wide. So what happened is I actually proposed my own internship, and my co-founder was working on a few projects on his own company with his friends. So I actually proposed an internship to kind of like work on the things I want to work with him anyway, right, at that time. So I actually started working with him during the summer when I was a student at UC Berkeley. And it was an enriching experience. He's an American, by the way, so when you spend more time with beyond Singaporeans or beyond like Asians, you actually get to step out of your comfort zone. So I think stepping out of our comfort zone is a very crucial and integral part of being overseas. The environment over there is very different. The way of life is very different. The way people communicate is also very different. When I just came back, I think I had a slight accent, but I think it's gone for a very long time already. Yeah, but I had an accent for a few months after I came back. So after America, that was 8 months. Then we get to go to China for 4 months. So I chose to go to Zhejiang University. And in fact, I was there in 2018. So very interesting. 2018, I'm not sure. You can go and Google what kind of news come out in 2018, right? So leaving US and going to China was actually a huge jump. And that was when I really understood the place of Singapore in the world, because the East, the far West and the Far East, they don't really understand each other very well. But as Singaporeans, we are in fact, a mix of the East and the West, and we are able to empathize on both sides. So what it means is we are able to approach the United States and approach China with both an open mind. And in China, I also learned a lot from my fellow schoolmates in Zhejiang University. I felt that they were very willing to learn, very hungry for new knowledge, and also very hardworking. And their English is also quite good. And I think what really surprised me is that, and that's a good thing, because in the classes actually we get to also study with international students, and you can get, and I mean by default the classes are in English. So that's how even the Europeans can take the classes, right? But if you want to choose Chinese classes, you can choose also. So I really like the ability to customize my curriculum, because it does not, like, there are many courses in Zhejiang in which we can choose from also. And we got to interact with European friends. So like, just now we were talking about America, and then now you get to talk to like Germans, French, which was what I made friends with Germans, French, and even Belgians when I was in Zhejiang. They were my classmates. So you get a very global exposure through this program, and you also get to, I think it also provides a very multidisciplinary education, because as an engineer, when you want to bring something to the market, it also helps to understand, the business people from their point of view. What are they looking to hear? What are they looking to see? Such that when you talk to them, you kind of like get to what they want to hear, so that they don't like lose their attention along the way. So I think that's very important. And yeah, I learned a lot of that, and talking to new people. Even if I haven't met you before, I can have a lovely conversation with you. So yeah, I think that's a skill that you can pick up. And then so that was the 1 year overseas, 8 months in US, 4 months in China. And then after that, we come back to Singapore, and we start on writing our, you can actually start way earlier, but I started after I came back, I started writing my master degree thesis. And I really appreciated the fact that that was part of what we needed to do. That was part of the curriculum, because I got to stretch my technology skills. So I studied ESD, and ESD naturally links to data analytics. And I discovered a passion for data science in my at my second year, so that was in 2017. Discovered my passion in data science during the internship, and I noticed that I really like this area of data science called natural language processing. So then I continued to do more projects and internships in that area as I went on my university journey. And actually suddenly got an inspiration when I was in Zhejiang University on the topic that I wanted to write for my master degree thesis. Because in China, actually, a lot of people like take PhD, so there are a lot of very brilliant academic papers out there. So I was reading and I was like, wow, you know, all these ideas are so brilliant, right? But how come I'm not seeing it in culminating in applications in companies? Why are they not using it? So I feel that it's kind of like there's a better way to, you know, utilize this information and resources to kind of actualize it into something that does good for the rest of society. So I decided that, okay, the technology skill that I wanted to enhance would be my skills in natural language processing, my skills in data science. So the use case was to create algorithms that automatically determine like the trends in the business world. Right, so all the way from 1936 to 2019, what are the topics, the top topics that were written in academic papers over those years, and then how did the patterns or the trends vary over those years. So that was how I created new algorithms apart, and that is actually where I really see the magic between the link between academia and entrepreneurship, because both academia and entrepreneurship involve creating novel products or novel solutions. And I felt that there was a need to link these two together as well. So in our master degree thesis, besides having a technology component, for me it was creating novel topic modeling algorithms. That besides the technology part, we would also have to write about the business side of things. So yes, the technology works, right? The technology is convincing. And how do you actually prove that? Let's say you want to commercialize the particular technology that you create. How do you convince people to buy your product, right? How do you convince people to invest in you? How do you convince people to partner with you? And I think I really like one of the slides just now. Prof. Jian-Xi showed this slide with the entrepreneurship ecosystem. There are so many stakeholders involved, right? And the good news is Singapore is very supportive of this entire ecosystem, and they can see the link in the same way. So it means that as an entrepreneur, you also have to talk to many different stakeholders. And I think being able to talk to new people is something that, being overseas in the US and China, having empathy for such different cultures can help with as well. So I think this whole step journey is very holistic, very comprehensive, and it helps us to stretch as a person. And for those of us who like to pioneer new things, create new things, or chart new paths for other people, or even like bring good for the rest of society, right? Like for example, now a lot of people are talking about technology, sustainability, and things like that. These can do a lot of great good for the world beyond Singapore. So yeah, this is my summary of my experience from the start. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Yunin.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to hear your. You have learned a lot from your benefit a lot from STEP and also your SUTD experience and also your experience in China and US. I'm very impressed by how much you have leveraged those opportunities for your own learning and growth and your entrepreneurship pursuits. And certainly Yunin demonstrates many dimensions of the value of STEP students and SUTD students, STEP and also SUTD. And if you guys join us, you'll be joining people like Yunin and other STEP students and being part of the SUTD community. Then we work together to design technologies for entrepreneurial impact and global impact. Shall we take questions? If a prospective student does not have a startup experience in the past, is he or she still eligible to apply for the program? No, prior experiences are not required. And we are actually looking at the potential, the intrinsic, latent, and innate aptitudes and traits of the young people for becoming impactful entrepreneurs in the future. So we don't look at the past, we look at your potential. So as I expand, and then also Yunin shared quite extensively just now, the culture here is very, very collaborative and very innovative. Our students share the values of creativity, innovation. They're all very passionate. They work together on projects, and they're outgoing, right? They're outgoing and together, and very outreaching, and so the culture culture to me is the shared expectations. So our students are all very entrepreneurial, innovative, and creative. They are passionate about technologies. They love designing, solving problems. They love to be part of the community and also contribute to the community. And Yunin is a student of STEP. Would you like to add some points?
Yeah, I would say the STEP community is a very close-knitted one. So I was the first batch. And right now, there has been many other batches that came after me. But we are all like in a Telegram chat, you know, and the chat is actually very active, like every day, you know. And the thing is, people also like share. It's a culture of SUTD. We share things, you know, without feeling afraid that, you know, people might take our idea and do something with it. It's a very we have a very collaborative, and open culture over here.
Yeah, so the culture here is very good for learning, collaborative learning of individuals and young people. Next one. Okay, so STEP students actually are prepared for quite a variety of roles in the professional world. Naturally, STEP students can take on the founder role or co-founder roles for new companies and growing new companies like Yunin, and she has already founded her own company with the people that she met in Silicon Valley. So that's very natural. Many of the STEP students, 1/3 of them, even being enrolled in a program, have already founded their own company. They're hiring. They're not looking for a job after graduation. They're actually hiring people to join their companies. And other than that, STEP students are also very suitable for jobs in venture capital firms, private equity firms, investment firms that invest in innovation and entrepreneurship in companies. I've seen quite a number of STEP students doing internships in leading VC venture capital firms in the region and in the world. For example, Circular Capital, Temasek, GIC, Vertex Capital. And that shows the prospect for our STEP students to become investors into startup in the future. And also, and a lot of companies, established big companies today, are trying to innovate in a fast-changing business environment today. Innovation has become essential for sustainability of business. Like large companies needs people like STEP students to be able to play transformational roles to renew their, to innovate inside those companies and renew the companies for innovation and transform them for innovation and sustainability. And also, I've seen STEP students been working with the government agencies in Singapore, like SG Innovate, Enterprise Singapore, to support the startup ecosystem, innovation ecosystem in Singapore. I can foresee that STEP students are very suitable for working in the government agencies supporting innovation and entrepreneurship. And I want to say that actually for STEP students, I don't think you should be worried about finding a job after graduation, and you will be chased by opportunities and a lot of career opportunities, given your quality, given your education and learning through the STEP curriculum and the journey. And you probably need to be worried about how you are going to make a global significant impact through your career after you graduate from STEP. And that's more challenging. I hope all of you can think very hard from now and what kind of role, significant role you can play in the society that makes your life meaningful.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, my company is SGP Foods, by the way. But yeah, talking about
hiring?
SGP Foods. SGP stands for Singapore, and we are in the sustainability and technology sector. Yeah. So career prospects for STEP students. So just now, Jianxi mentioned about actually what Jianxi mentioned about innovating within big companies. There's a term for it, which is actually intrapreneurship. To be honest, if you ask me, I think that should be the way for Singapore going forward. That's how we, stay ahead of times. When big companies set up here, I think it makes sense for them to have a bigger innovation component. And I mean, for yourself, even if you work for like a big company and then you work in their innovation department, it's actually a good training. It's actually a good training for you to, eventually become an entrepreneur of your own, right? Because you get a bit of help here and there, but you also get a bit of bandwidth from the companies to kind of, innovate. And it's a very iterative process, right? Some of us have heard of the concept of like fail fast before. You just keep on trying until you get the breakthrough. And it makes you feel comfortable with innovation, and then once you are ready or comfortable, you take the strings off and you can start your own company by yourself.
Great. So we offer up to 30 full scholarships to STEP students every year, and the scholarships will cover your tuition for your undergrad study and also your grad study, and also fully cover your studies overseas in US and China. And yep, 30 students, that's the number we're aiming at. Okay, so STEP students have been doing internships in Silicon Valley as part of their graduate study, and also in Singapore as part of their bachelor's study. As I shared earlier on, I've seen a wide variety of internships that STEP students have been taking on, including the venture capital firms, the leading ones in the world, including government agencies, but also leading technology companies like IBM, Google, Facebook, all the top companies you can think of, as well as the startups, uprising startups from different parts of the world. One thing I want to emphasize is the internship in Silicon Valley that really offers an outstanding and differentiated experience for students coming out of Singapore. Maybe I should ask Yunin to share more about her internship experience.
Okay, so remember I said that I proposed my own internship in the US, and so essentially it's actually quite, I would say the proposal to UC Berkeley, they are actually quite flexible about it, meaning you can actually find any American, and in fact you can do the internship anywhere in US. So Silicon Valley is in California, but you can even choose to do it in like New York if that's your favorite city. And by the way, that's at the other side of the US, so you get a different experience also. I think essentially what it means is it's quite flexible. You find a company that is willing to write like a short 1 or 2 pager internship proposal for you, and then get the sign off from both the company, yourself, and the school. I would say that would be very meaningful. To be honest, if you want to go by what the school provides, there's also like a long list of internship companies whereby you can do your internship at also. So what it means is also it's not restricted by what you have already studied, or let's say you suddenly want to like let's say you are a very product development person, but you suddenly want to do data analytics. It's still possible, So it's I would say it's actually the flexibility is important, especially as you discover more about yourself, your strengths over your years in university, and by the time you reach your 3rd year, you might realize that, oh, okay, that is a better fit for me compared to originally what I thought. And then this is how you pivot into a new space. And even the master degree thesis is a very good chance for you to pivot into a new area, because that essentially, you will focus more on that in your like 3rd and 4th year, so you kind of know yourself better already. And the topic of your thesis and even the content of your thesis can be something that you put a URL in your resume, and then the hiring managers also can just click on it and open and take a look at it. But beyond that, I guess you also might want to start your own business in which the master degree thesis, the thing that you're working on, is novel, right? It has to be novel. It's something that you can start a business out of.
Okay. What are the various specialization opportunities available through STEP? Can be anything, and and SUTD curriculum is multidisciplinary. Our students have a very good flexibility to choose the subjects they want to study. Being a bachelor's student here in one of the Peters, but at the same time, and also when they are a graduate student in technology on Spurs, they work with the tenure track faculty members from different Peters, different centers, work on any possible technology domains of their interest and on the frontier of innovation. I can see our students are actually working on studying many cutting edge specialization and subjects like AI, nanorobots, nanomaterials, robotics, additive manufacturing, and genetic engineering, anything that we can think of on the frontier of innovation and technology. Very flexible, we're very wide open. It's just really up to you to explore the community and explore the subjects and take your own initiatives. Next one. How are the overseas opportunities affected by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic? So the STEP students that went to Silicon Valley in the beginning of 2020 were recalled back to Singapore. That was arranged by MOH and MOE and also SUTD for the safety and the health of our students. And after that, that batch of students that was affected continued to take online courses offered by Berkeley faculty members, and some of them continue to do a remote online internships with the Silicon Valley-based companies. And some of them, we help them and source local internship companies in Singapore. And after that, they continue to take online courses offered by our Chinese partner universities, basically Tsinghua University and the Zhejiang University in the past year. And we hope the pandemic will end very soon. For you guys who join us in 2021, and you will be going overseas in 2023, 2024, and I hope we won't have a pandemic by then. If we have something like COVID-19 that disrupts your learning journey, and will continue to be flexible, to be creative, to create novel and meaningful immersive learning experiences, and for you guys, no matter what happens down the road. What kind of students is a STEP looking for? Okay, so we're looking for creative, innovative, passionate, risk-taking, ambitious young people who love technology, who loves designing technology-based solutions to solve problems, who loves venturing, who wants to achieve significant impact for life through the design of technologies and entrepreneurship. If you share those values, those traits, apply to STEP. Will STEP interfere with the typical SUTD curriculum, like if we were to take a major plus STEP? No, actually STEP is fused together with your majors of study in one of the pillars. They're synergetic, they don't collide. So we'll have carefully designed your curriculum to fuse your pillar study for your bachelor's specialization and your master's study for technology entrepreneurship. And so don't worry about that. So, what are the experiences offered by overseas curriculum? I think we already shared a lot, right? So about this, and Yuning also shared a lot about her personal experience and the courses that STEP students have taken from UCB, the leadership, marketing, and negotiation.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I were to summarize it in like 3 big themes, right, I would say it's entrepreneurship, innovation, and management. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than the courses, and you also receive a lot of mentorship by the industry experts, and also the internship experience in the Bay Area, which have been very rewarding for Union's growth and entrepreneurship pursuit. And also, if you are active, passionate, you will take initiatives to explore the US, the bigger ecosystem in Silicon Valley, to discover your own learning opportunities in the US and China. And Yuning also mentioned that we went to Shenzhen together as a class. And actually, Yuning's team took initiative to venture into other companies that we didn't arrange to visit. And so if STEP students actually take initiative, self-initiatives to discover their own learning experiences, entrepreneurial experiences, and on top of the curriculum or the arrangements made by the university or the STEP program. Must we sign up for STEP during admissions, or can we sign up during the school semester? You sign up now, and the admission is at the beginning, yeah. What kind of entrepreneurship overseas exposure are available specific for STEP students during term breaks? So as I briefly mentioned, there are quite a variety, a long list of short-term immersion opportunities for STEP, like European Innovation Academy, MIT Entrepreneurship Workshop, and a lot of opportunities offered through an auto venture programs or partnership in the US, in China, and Europe. And it's really up to you, up to the STEP students to explore and choose. If you're active, you will probably have been to quite a few, 5-6 countries, as I observed from the current STEP student, 5-6 countries for entrepreneurship learning, even before you move to Silicon Valley in China for the 1-year official immersion study. How does STEP help when we wish to pursue either master's or PhD in SUTD? STEP itself is also a master program. You get a master's degree in technology entrepreneurship. And since you are working with a tenure track faculty member, you're immersed in technology research, and that gives you exposure, gives you connectivity to the research ecosystem, and that will help your master's study. And that will also prepare you and set you up for your PhD study. Like Yunin just shared just now, she actually did a very deep research on natural language process, and if she wanted, for innovation, for innovative application, if she wanted to continue to pursue a PhD in that domain, right? She has been well prepared. It's very easy, right?
Yeah, actually, on that topic, right, I wanted to do much more for my master degree thesis. I believe, based on what I initially proposed, it can actually culminate in a potential PhD. Yeah. But I mean, I think master's is already very good, you know. So. Yeah.
So actually, the STEP master thesis component prepares you connects you to the research ecosystem and prepares you for your master's and PhD studies beyond STEP. Okay. Thank you. For the sake of time, we have to end our session today.
Thank you so much.
And if you're interested in STEP, apply. Hope to see you in our community. We work together to learn about entrepreneurship. Okay. Good luck with your applications.